Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Leon Sylvester here, and today in this video I want to share with you 5 ways that my life has improved after not drinking alcohol for 2.5 years. Now, not drinking was the #1 decision that I made in my adult life that has just made so many amazing things happen. So much has changed in my life from when I was a drinker to the person that I am today. I'm a completely different person. I put out a different energy, I behave differently, I've achieved different things, and I'm not self-destructing anymore. It's just changed absolutely everything. And the thing is I tried a lot of the typical advice and, I tried moderation, I tried cutting down, I tried using willpower with varying degrees of success, tried going to AA meetings, admitting I was powerless, I thought I was an alcoholic. I tried a lot of this stuff, and the way that I actually stopped drinking was pretty much ignoring the typical mainstream advice. And what really helped me was actually seeing people who had been there and done that. So that's why I'm making this video. I really want to share an insight into how life could look for you. So if you have already stopped drinking, maybe you might be in day 1, day 20, day 30, you might be a year into it, or you may not have even stopped yet. There's going to be huge amounts of value for you in this video. Just before we get into the video, if you want to get access to the free video training showing you how to control your drinking without AA or willpower, click the link in the description. I'll be showing you how to use the mental model called First Principles Thinking to get control of your drinking. I'll be talking about the 5 critical mistakes that 90% of drinkers make, and I'll also be sharing the 2 phases of becoming sober clear. You do not want to miss that training video. It will change your mindset around drinking forever, so you can start getting your health, career, confidence, and relationships back on track. Click the link in the description for instant access. Now, the very first place that my life has improved is in business and career. Now, I'm going to be entirely honest with you guys. When I was drinking alcohol, there was a entrepreneurial spirit. I've always had it. I mean, even when I was in high school, I would go to Morrison's, which is a big supermarket in the UK, and I'd buy like multi-packs of crisps, and I would go and buy like Mars bars, and I'd go and sell it. I got in trouble for it. And there was always like an entrepreneurial spirit. And when I drank, that spirit kind of died. Like, I wanted to do things, but what ended up happening when I was drinking and when I was growing up is I just got stuck in jobs that I wasn't very passionate about. I've done all sorts of jobs. I mean, I've worked in car washes, I've been a chef in a restaurant before, I've been a waiter in a restaurant, but there was always something that said to me is like, you can give a lot more. And I don't like the idea of having a ceiling. I like the idea of entrepreneurship because you get what you give, right? The more that you give, the more that you get, and there's no ceiling. You can just, you can grow it as big as you want. You can do whatever you want. I really like that idea. I don't like the idea of something or some kind of system holding me back. I want to just be able to go all in and just go for it. But when I was drinking, like I said, that entrepreneurial spirit just got crushed. And I think the reason why is because I didn't really have the confidence and the courage to kind of just go for it. I didn't have the balls just to jump into things and take big risks, because the version of me that was drinking just didn't have that in them. And when I was drinking, I failed a few times in a business. I failed a few times as a personal trainer. There was a period of my life where I stopped drinking with willpower for 9 months. That was when I launched my first business. It was a personal training business. Killed it. Long story short is I ended up drinking again after this 9 months of drinking, and I got a job in a recruitment position, which is like being self-employed. I mean, it's heavily commission-based. It's a tiny basic salary. Pretty much you make money through commission, through doing deals. I tried to do this, and I failed miserably. Like, I couldn't handle that lifestyle. I was getting drunk. I was going to work hungover. There's no way that I can put out that right amount of energy to make money on a commission basis when I was drinking. Then what happened is I was living in London at this time. I ended up leaving this job because it was just too much for me. Then I started trying to do personal training whilst I was still drinking, and again, failed. Ran out of money, didn't have enough savings, went into my overdraft. Then I had to go back to England and start again, and I got a job in a restaurant. And when I've been drinking, I cannot be self-employed. I can't crush it with a business. Now, I'm not saying that a lot of you guys that are watching this channel are like that. I know a lot of people that watch this are already self-employed. They've already got a successful business. But in my instance, I just couldn't go all in. I couldn't really commit to it. I couldn't build systems and think like an entrepreneur. I couldn't put the energy out there. I couldn't do sales. It just didn't work for me. Like, I need to be on my A game. If I want to do good work and put good stuff out there, I've just got to be on my A game. So what basically happened when I stopped drinking this time 2.5 years ago, when I felt this new level of commitment, I felt all into stopping drinking, is I started personal training again. But this time it was different. I felt this rush of energy again. I felt like the old me was back when I built that personal training business when I was sober for 9 months. And I started putting in so much energy to things. I was reading more. I was going on the gym floor, meeting people, just building this business. And it was awesome. And I was learning systems. And basically what ended up happening is I'd built all these systems in my business, like it was just really like pretty organized. And I learned Facebook advertising, and I was basically getting customers on Facebook. They were coming to the gym, and it was like, I felt like I'd just built this machine, and it was the best feeling ever. But I realized that I was building something that I had no escape from. So what I ended up doing was I ended up actually moving to Thailand, and I decided I wanted to learn how to run an online business, how to do online marketing, how to get customers on the internet, and ended up joining a startup. And I worked with this entrepreneur, and very, very good entrepreneur, very, very, very skilled. And I built a YouTube channel for this company. And, I did some freelance videography work, and I was learning all sorts of stuff with this guy. And because I wasn't drinking, it was just progress. Learned so much in such a short amount of time because there was no 1 step forward and 3 steps back anymore. And long story short, creating Sober Clear, showing people how to use first principles thinking, starting this coaching business, it has just been the best thing ever. It's been so much fun. We're growing all the time, getting new customers all the time. We've got people all over the world. And this would never have happened if I was drinking. Like, I cannot be this version of me if I'm drinking. So it's just been incredible. It's been like having this chain around my neck for my whole life, and now all of a sudden it's broken and I can just go out into the world and really just go for it. So that's number 1. The second way that my life has improved is in my fitness and my strength. Now, when I was drinking, I was always living on the roller coaster with fitness and health. Weight would go up, weight would go down. Strength would go up, strength would go down. And it was never linear. It was just like, there might be like a month period where I train really hard and eat really well. And then a month period where I just absolutely F things up. I just screw up. I'm out drinking 5 nights a week. I'm just going on these crazy binges. I'm not going to the gym. I don't have the energy to go to the gym. I just don't care. And the word here is consistency. I just wasn't consistent. When I was drinking, sure, there were workouts in there. There were some good months. There were some good days. But it wasn't consistent. It was up and down. And, it was typically like the hangovers, the low energy, the low mood. It was all of the things that alcohol did that just contributed to me not wanting to go to the gym. I didn't even have the confidence to go to the gym. If I had a hangover, I didn't want to face other people. I didn't want to look at them. I just wanted to kind of stay at home, not really go outside. I didn't want anybody to know that I've been drinking because I kind of lived this double life. And not training, not eating well, putting on weight, losing muscle, losing strength, this stuff just made me feel very, very, very low. My courage, my confidence, my self-esteem, these all took hits as a result of drinking, but then as a result of letting myself go as well. Now, since stopping drinking, the key word now is that I'm consistent. I am consistent as hell at training. I won't lie, when the lockdown first happened here in Thailand where I am, I'm in Koh Samui right now, but I was in Chiang Mai at the time. And when the lockdown happened in Thailand, that was a year ago. I can't believe how fast this year has gone. But 1 year ago, there was a lockdown, and I kind of let myself slip. But after that, I got a coach again. I was working with a personal trainer, and I just got myself back on track. Just really started training consistently again. And since that little blip, during lockdown, where I just kind of was like, no training, nobody knew what was going on, and it's just been very, very, very consistent. And now I'm actually at my peak strength. I've just done some new personal best in the gym. I did a deadlift. It was 210 kg. And I'm, so happy because I've never done this weight before. And yeah, peak strength, peak fitness, feeling good, got loads of more energy these days. And yeah, it's just completely different in this department. Now, the third area that I want to touch on is in my relationship with my significant other. Now, I have a beautiful girlfriend called Or. And in the past, I had relationships, even when I was drinking. But, I've broken up with a girlfriend in the past, and I believe that alcohol played a major role in that. Like, I just wasn't putting the right energy into a relationship anymore. I was getting selfish. I didn't really care. I just wanted to drink. I didn't really give a shit about the person as much anymore. And when we got together, I wasn't drinking, and the relationship was really good. I started drinking again, slowly went downhill. And it just got to a point where I just wasn't bothered about the relationship anymore. I was more bothered about going out and drinking and doing what the hell I wanted to do. But these days, I've got this amazing girlfriend. We've got a really good relationship. She has like a drink every month or 2 or something. It's not even a drink every month, right? She drinks very rarely. And our relationship is really revolved around caring for each other, going out, having fun, traveling, doing all this fun stuff. We've done so many cool things together. And we have a relationship that really revolves around love instead of revolving around drinking or something like that, because I've had relationships like that in the past. And I can really step up as a good partner. Like, I can be a good partner now because I've got the right energy. I can put the energy into somebody, and I can put that other person first. And that's what happens when you don't drink. The relationship that you have with your friends, with your family, with your loved one, they get so much better. And that's all about the energy that you've got. When you've got the right energy, when you can smile more, when you can say, how are you? When you can say, I love you. When you've got the energy to give to that other person, it just gets reciprocated, and it's just a much healthier relationship when you don't drink. Now, I'm not saying that you may have a bad relationship if you're drinking right now. Maybe your relationship's perfectly fine, but I'm just sharing my experience compared to when I was drinking, like the relationship that I was in the past and the one that I'm in now where there's no alcohol involved. Listen, it's night and day. It's 10 times better. Now, the fourth thing that I want to touch on is about my mindset. Now, this is going to sound a bit strange, but it's about my mindset and the way that I view alcohol. Now, basically, I drank for almost 10 years and it was just like this roller coaster living. And during the time that I was trying to stop drinking, I always viewed alcohol as a good thing. I looked at alcohol and I would see it as this glamorous thing that added value in life. So every single time that I tried to stop drinking it, I felt like I was giving something up. I felt like I was taking something away. And when I'd see like a friend drink, that I'd see a friend that has 1 or 2 drinks, right? They have 1 or 2 drinks, they go home. I used to look at that person with admiration. I used to say, yeah, I want to be like him. I want to be like her. I want to be able to have 1 or 2 drinks and go home. And every single time that I tried to stop drinking, I saw alcohol as a good thing. And my mindset now has completely shifted. So this is why I'm so confident to make videos about stopping drinking. I'm confident to build a business, coach other people, help them stop drinking, because I'm so committed. I feel as committed now as I did on day 1 of stopping. When I made the decision to not drink, I went all in. And I see alcohol in this completely different frame of mind now. I see it as a poison. I see it as ethanol. I see it as something like chlorine. Like, I'm not going to put chlorine in my body the same way I'm not going to put alcohol in my body. My mindset around the drug and around drinking and around the pleasure that I thought that it gave me, it's just completely different. It has shifted 180 degrees. I see it for what it is. I see it for something that does nothing for me. It never did, it never will, it never has done. It does nothing for me. And that's why I feel so committed. And what I did is I used a mental model called First Principles Thinking. The training for that is in the description below, where I teach you how to use First Principles Thinking. And yeah, my mindset around alcohol itself is just, it's like solid. Like, I've never felt like this before. Every single time that I tried to stop drinking in the past, there was always this niggle in the back of my head, like, maybe one day you're gonna go back to it. These days, it's just like commitment, 100% all in. I'm done with that stuff. I'm moving on. It's finished. And, it's awesome because that means that I can still go to bars. I can still go to restaurants. If my girlfriend drinks, it's cool. I'm not bothered. If I go out with a friend that has a few beers, whatever. I'm not interested. So that's something that's changed. That's been a big change. And the 5th and final thing that I want to touch on is potential. Now, these days, I feel like I can reach my potential. When I was drinking, I knew that alcohol was stopping me from reaching that 10 out of 10 life. Where you've got 10 out of 10 health, 10 out of 10 in your relationship, a 10 out of 10 career, 10 out of 10 in your finances, 10 out of 10 in your adventure life. Whatever. When I was drinking, there was no way in hell that I could move towards a 10 out of 10 life. And this was the biggest motivator for me. This was the biggest thing that drove me to really figuring this out, building this paradigm where I see alcohol for what it is, putting the work in, and really just saying, this stuff is doing nothing for me. And it's wanting to reach my potential. I want to get to it, just a 10 out of 10 life. When I get to my deathbed, I want to look back and say, I did it. I lived on the knife's edge. Like, I really pushed things as hard as I possibly could. I was on my edge all the time. And when I'm drinking, that ain't happening. And I just feel like committed. I'm obviously committed to not drinking, but then I'm committed to the future. I'm committed to building this life, building this business, and just being a force of good in the world. And that is exciting because that can happen for you as well.